It's time for the Tony Lewis Show. Learn all about Jasper Wildcat football. This week's show is sponsored by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosman Communications. Go Wildcats!
And welcome to this week's Tony Lewis Show. And Coach, last week you took on Castle in a very exciting game and came out a 43-42 winner on a 2-point conversion in overtime. Why don't you go over that game for us?
Well, I thought early on we played really well defensively. We caused a turnover on a punt return, and we also caused a turnover on defense. Thought we played, we were flying to the football. I thought our aggression and our being physical was at a higher level defensively, and we capitalized offensively with those turnovers, which is always key. Took an early lead. I think it was 28-10 at halftime. Came out and, caused another turnover. Tyler Atkins had a big interception and returned it probably 15 to 20 yards, setting up our offense again. We went in and scored, and at that point, I believe it was actually, I think it was 35-13 at that point. It was 28-13 at halftime. And, I think at that point our kids kind of exhaled, unfortunately, and let down a little bit. Castle had a quick score within the first 3 or 4 plays on offense of their next series, and then all the momentum started to shift in their favor at that point. So we were kind of on our heels a little bit. Unfortunately, we didn't move the ball with any regularity after that. They were able to put up 3 quick scores and got a 2-point conversion to tie it at that point, going into made it 35-35 with about probably about 8 to 10 minutes left in the game. And it stayed 35-35. They actually had a long field goal. I think it was about a 37-yard field goal at the end of the game that was short and right by their female kicker that she just barely missed it. Luckily, they score in overtime, kick the extra point. We scored on the second play in overtime and decided to go for 2. That was the one. They had all the momentum at that point. We felt like, if we're going to win it, let's win it right here and end it right here. We were fortunate enough. Jace Perkins got it into the end zone on the 2-point conversion. He had a big game for us, had 2 or 3 touchdowns, and Carter Holdsworth also had 2 touchdowns as well. I thought Max Butel threw the ball well, and our offensive line and tight ends did a nice job controlling the line of scrimmage. So it was a big emotional win for us. Unfortunately, in the melee afterwards, there was a big player pile up, and Braylon Bear re-injured his leg. So unfortunately, he's questionable this week. He's currently doing some rehab on it. And then also Ross Dawkins had a concussion, so he's in concussion protocol. So we may have lost a couple players, but it was a good victory for the Wildcats.
Well, as I was sitting at home listening to the game on WITZ, and as I told my son, I said it's getting towards the end of the game. I said JAC. I said JAC, Greece. That's what it's going to be.
That's right. We talk about that all the time. It's important to compete for 48 minutes, and in this case, we had to compete a little bit longer than 48 minutes. And we've been stressing to our kids, over the last couple of weeks to do the little things right, to play together and be physical. And if we can do those 3 things, then we're going to give ourselves an opportunity. I felt like our kids really did that on Friday night.
And the advantage of this season is you know the name Holsworth, you know the name Perkins, but you're going to hear the name Butel and Dawkins and Smith for quite a few years there.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate those guys are having to play because of injuries. They are freshmen, and normally, we don't want to play freshmen at the varsity level. We'd like to keep them together, but on the positive side, they are gaining a lot of valuable experience that will be beneficial to them down the road.
And we'll be back on the Tony Lewis Show right after we present these to our sponsors. You're listening to Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Valley Voice Communications.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
And welcome back to the Tony Lewis Show. And we're joined by 8th grade football coach and athletic director. And, well, actually, by 7th and 8th grade, you're probably doing both.
Yes.
Ben Mundy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. You've been around forever. You've been around long enough. I've got 3 sons, and they all played for you.
Yes.
You've been around. How long have you been at Jasper Middle School?
This is my 23rd year coaching the middle school football program. I started in August of 2000.
I know I was talking to Coach Lewis about, having that longevity, in the middle school program is a big thing, because that's the feeder system for the varsity. And, and as you know, you didn't realize probably you were such a feeder system that 3 of your players from last year will be playing this year.
Yeah, that's one of the joys of the position here at the middle school. You get to watch the kids grow and develop, and you get to see, oh my gosh, this kid's surprised. I didn't expect this kid to be able to, play varsity some year. This kid, when he was in middle school, he was so small or so slow, or, he just didn't have it yet. And then to see the same kid develop into a varsity starter is something I always brag about to the current kids. There's always names I can bring up that in middle school didn't see playing time that much. And then in varsity, they're, like a Charlie Cabrick. When Charlie was in middle school, he wasn't developed. He's young for his class. He was small for his class. And now you can't watch a varsity football game without seeing Charlie succeeding on the offense, succeeding on the defense, and also our kicker. I bring up Charlie, and there's a couple others. Our starting varsity quarterback right now, Grant Young, he was smaller in middle school, and he never played quarterback, and he's injured right now at the varsity level, but he's a phenomenal football player when he's healthy. And I constantly talk to our middle school kids that aren't playing much, and I bring up those 2 guys, and Cameron Howard is another one. Cameron in middle school was tall and not developed. He had a hard time controlling that big body of his, and now, he's a tight end and linebacker. So my role as a middle school coach is one of the hidden pleasures behind it is watching the kids develop throughout their high school career.
And, this season, you've got a couple games left before the season's over. But how is the 7th and 8th grade done this year?
We've been record-wise struggling. Each program has a couple of wins. Our 8th grade is 2-4 and with 1 tie. Our 7th grade program has a couple wins. They also have a couple of B wins, the 7th grade. 8th grade, beginning of the year, a lot of our kids were on we're having success in baseball season. So they were succeeding in the baseball field, but the problem with that, which is a good problem, I'm glad they're succeeding in baseball, they got to football late. And so then we got into football season, and a good chunk of our players hadn't practiced a whole lot. So we struggled early on. Then we had some injuries, but we had some big win against Central and at Heritage Hills. We had a good win there. This week we're hoping to stay on the winning path against North. We played North Thursday night, which our 8th grade last year won. They beat North, but every year is different. On the 7th grade side, like I said, they got a couple of wins. We also have a couple of B wins, and what that means is, the 7th grade schedule is kind of complicated because we, as a school, we play the same schedule as the varsity. Okay, so when the varsity's playing North, we're playing North. When the varsity's playing Castle, we're playing Castle. But the problem is a lot of the SIAC schools don't have enough kids for a 7th and 8th grade team. So what we have to do is we got to get creative with their schedule. And a lot of times we played North twice this year. We played Castle twice. And that second game would be a B game to give, their kids and our kids more opportunity to play. So there's some challenges with scheduling and winning football games, but we're making it through.
And we mentioned that, the Grant Young and Charlie Kadrick developed as players, in middle school, and on varsity they're doing great. Who are some of the players that we're going to hear from in the future, possibly, do you think?
We have a young man on the 8th grade team, Joe Heichelbeck. Joe's gone through some injuries this year. Joe is a part-time receiver, part-time running back. He's a hell of an athlete. He's been dealing with a shoulder problem. He had surgery on it in February, and he's been battling through that. But when Joe is healthy, he's a game changer. Caden Ramos is another fantastic athlete on the 8th grade team. Watching him run the ball is a thing of beauty. He is one of those kids that just get it. He's a jitterbug. He's fun to watch. Andrew Stratton's the quarterback. Andrew, smart young man, knows how to run the offense. He's got a lot of growing to do, which his mom has promised me he's going to do. And he's a little guy right now, but I see big things for him in the future. Andrew Obermeyer is a two-way offense and defensive starter on the line. He's one of the more vocal leaders on the team. I would take 100 Andrew Obermeyers on any day of the week. Jesse Harper is another two-way starter on the offensive defensive line. A lot of good football in these two guys moving forward. Those are some of the names on the 8th grade team. 7th grade, Grant Young's little brother, Tanner, is the quarterback, and Tanner is exciting to watch. He's one of those kids that get it. He's fun to see out there. He's got some moxie in him that was fun to watch the other night. Foy's a good athlete. We got a lot of good athletes. The line is coming around. We have some good young men on the line. Whiteside young man's good talent young man. We just need more of them. We got 42 8th graders, but we only have about 22, 24 7th graders. So, the kids we got are good kids. We just need to beat the bushes and get more of them out.
Well, Ben, good luck on the rest of the season and develop those players for Coach Lewis.
That's the plan, and hopefully we'll keep on doing it, and then hopefully the ultimate goal is to build a varsity program and get some wins and get some sectionals. So that's the plan. We'll keep on working on it.
And you've been listening to the Tony Lewis Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Bros for Communications. We'll be back right after these messages from our sponsors.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
This is the most important, amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild! He just won the game! Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
And welcome back to the Tony Lewis Show. And Coach, I'll tell you what, it's not many teams that have the longevity at middle school as you have with Mundi.
Yeah, Ben Mundi is doing a great job. He's always done it. He's been a mainstay down at the middle school for quite some time. He's also the athletic director, and he's the head 8th grade coach. Does a good job putting that program together. And over the last 2-3 years, they've really started to adopt, what we're doing here at the high school level, which always makes it easier for those kids when they transition into freshman football. So that's been a great, conduit down to the middle school, and we're excited that he's been able to stay there and does a great job.
And this week you'll be playing Evansville North, and last week they won at Vincennes 17-14. Why don't you preview that game for us?
Yeah, North is probably, looking back in terms of that Vincennes game, they were battling back and forth with Vincennes throughout the game. Vincennes actually took a lead 14-10, and then North got the ball back with probably about 3 to 4 minutes to go and drove it down the field and scored, I believe, with probably about a little less than a minute and a half to go. So that was a big victory for them. They are a very talented team, offensive and defensive line. They're as big and strong and physical, and probably more so than any team we've played. And they also have athletes all over the field. So they're very capable athletically and physically. They've been up and down a little bit, kind of like us. When they play well, they're really tough to beat. And they played well against a really good Vincennes team who, to be honest with you, should have probably beaten Wrights in the first game of the year. So they played well, beat them at Vincennes, and, they're coming back home. They're tough to play there. We've been fortunate enough over the last 3 years to get them, by a score, usually late in the game. So we've been very fortunate to squeeze out 3 victories against them the last 3 years, and we're hopeful if we put our best foot forward, and again, if we do little things right and play together and we're physical, we're hopeful to give ourselves a chance again late in the fourth quarter to win that game.
And speaking of Wrights, they've captured at least a tie for the conference championship at 7-0. But with Modern Day sitting at 5-2, and then you and North and Castle and Memorial and Vincennes also at 4-3, it's going to be a tight race to see who gets second place.
It is. We're all kind of bunched up there, and Modern Day has a little bit of a edge on the rest of us that are 4-3. But they still have to play Wrights, which should be a great game. And we're just worried about right now, hopefully playing each week and getting a little bit better each week as we end the season here and head into sectionals, because that's our goal, to improve every week and be playing our best football come sectional time. Well, Coach, good luck this week against North. Thank you very much. Go Wildcats.
And you can listen to the Tony Lewis Show on the South Louisiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Westbrook Communications. We'll see you next week.
Jasper looking to throw. Throws the other way. Wide open over there is Atkins. So Cats shift the field to the right side, and almost the same play that Castle ran earlier. That was Cabrick. We're down to 10 seconds.
We got time.
6 seconds. Gives it to Perkins.
Get in there!
Forward.
Get in there!
Yeah! For the touchdown or for the 2-point conversion. Jasper has won this football game on the road.
Craig, you called it. Give it to your 210-pounder.
No question about it as the whole football team goes in there on the dog pile. Jasper on a 2-point conversion gives it to Perkins, and he just manhandles everybody to get it across for the score. Jasper 43, Castle 42 in an overtime thriller.
You have been listening to the Tony Lewis Show. Join us every week to learn more about Jasper Wildcat football. This week's show is brought to you by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. See you next week.